Yeah, that's definitely been leaking. The brake master cylinder has been leaking for quite some time, I think. I'm going to give it a little squirt, let it soak. Suitable container in readiness. Always have your container in readiness. Still got brake fluid in there. Good, just what I wanted everything to be absolutely covered. But it needs doing at the same time. So yeah, much easier without that in the way. Okay, yeah, that's a bit annoying. I was thinking that I'd probably have to change it anyway, as I picked up this second-hand one last time I was at an auto jumble, and it's in slightly better condition than mine. And I've got a seal kit for the clutch as well as the brake. So I've got to get these two bolts out. Actually didn't use the new reservoir, or the new old reservoir, and I didn't actually change the clutch master cylinder seals either. They weren't leaking, so I decided don't fix what ain't broke. Just to show you what the condition of this one was in. Look. It's definitely been leaking for a while. Look at that. I don't know if you can see that, but it is actually, yeah, you can see that. So I think that's probably why it was leaking. Just some corrosion on the inside there. So I think we will need to hone that out. So the way I think that this early CB type works is sort of just the same as a regular master cylinder. You have this connection that goes to where the reservoir, which is separated, and then this goes out towards your brakes. So this is a piston from a later from a Defender. But you see it's basically the same. So we have, except it's all split up into different sections. So here you have the front seal, brake fluid stays this side of this seal. When you put your foot on the pedal, it moves the fluid against the spring, and sorry, it's the other way, isn't it? When you push your foot on the pedal, it moves the fluid against the spring. So I'm here having a look in the book. Looks very similar to this, but this part looks looks different. Not sure why that is. But yeah, you can see here the push rod, which acts against the piston. And as you push it down, it compresses this spring here to push the fluid, which is kind of in this chamber here, up and out towards, oh sorry, the other way around, out and towards the outlet, towards the wheels. I was getting it the other way around when I was looking at it the other day. So push it down, fluid comes out here, and then the inlet port to the reservoir is this one. So I think when you have your foot off the brake, then the seal at the back, so when you put your foot on the brake, it has to seal off this one. Can't quite get my head around that. Maybe it's the piston actually. Maybe the piston then blocks this hole, because it's quite a long piston, isn't it? So I wonder if as the piston comes down, you put your foot on the brake, the piston kind of blocks this hole, forcing everything up and out of here. Or there's those little holes in the bottom, and that tube piece that sits in here also has holes in it. So as you put your foot on the clutch, the piston blocks this, but then also it pushes the brake fluid kind of like out and back and up. Does that sound right? I don't know. So the book says to lubricate all the new seals up with our red rubber grease, and actually to fit the spring in the other end, so that fits in that side. So first we have our seal. Just give our piston a bit of a clean up. Take our seal out of there, and get a bit of a red rubber grease. Take number 456. So here's how I got it done. Grease up my seal. Bit more grease for good luck. Grease up my seal. Then from the back of the piston, from the back of the cylinder, ease the piston in, and then it just goes up and over. There we go. Easy as that. He says like that hasn't just taken him 10 minutes to figure out. Okay, so then the next thing that needs to go in is our little cup that holds the push rod against the piston. So I'm just gonna pop them in there. Good. Gonna grease up. Bit of grease in there. Bit of grease around there. Just really want to stop it from getting corroded. So then our push rod goes in. We've got our collar there, our retaining washer, and then have our, oh my god, that is an enormous, look at the size of that. Yeah. There's just no way, is there? Absolutely no way that's going to go in. Not in a month of Sundays. I mean, it's the side. Yeah, no. Should we use the old one? Whoop! We're in. Look at that. Just about. Yes. There we go. Flips in. When we adjust it up, we just need to make sure that so the piston's now right as far forward as it will go, and we still have our free play at the end there. It's very cool. The dust cap has got like 2 pieces. So I'm going to put that on next, just to get it out of the way. So we've got this piece, I think, goes over first. It's not going over here. And then it says to apply liberally. Grease in here. I've got some more red rubber grease somewhere, but in case I can't find it, let's grease up our... Oh, it'd help if I grabbed our new seals. Let's grease up our new seals. I'll have to do for now. And new shim. New shim goes in. Then it says, the book says that the seal goes in over the top of the shim, like that. Then it says to put the spring in. And then for the, it's called the shim securing thing. So the old one came off, by the way, with an O-ring. And in the kit, copper washer. I presume the copper washer is what's supposed to be there. It'll clean up. It says that this has to go in here. See, it's in there. Don't love that though, so I'm just wondering if I pour a bit of brake fluid in there before I screw it up. Like so. Just put a little bit. And then screw it up. One master cylinder, new seals, hopefully doesn't leak anymore. Just need to get this pipe off and we can get everything back on the car. I think that's all for this video. I'm not going to bother putting it all back on. You saw me taking it off. It's exactly the same in the opposite direction, and plus you saw how much difficulty I had taking it off. I'm not going to subject you to that again. And it'd be done. Wait, click my fingers and it'd be done. It's back on. Bled. And I think we've got more brake pressure than there was. Winner.